What is up, you guys? It is your boy T Tom West, man, back at it again with another episode of the Cam and T podcast with my host, Cam. Cam, what's going on, brother? We got a big show tonight, man.
Yeah, man. Big one, man. Big one. I'm excited. I know you excited, man. We've been talking about it
Sir.
all week.
Yes, sir.
Man, it's gonna be a good one, y'all, man. I'm telling y'all. But I'm living, man. I'm doing good. How about y'all, man? How about you?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and brag a little bit on this guy because I feel like personally he's one of the biggest names on social media, period, right now, especially TikTok. I mean, I'm super proud of him. For one, he's from my area. We're both from the south side of Charlotte, and we both went to the same high school, Olympic High School. And I'm extremely proud of this guy and what he's done, especially coming from where we come from. Clifford Taylor, we have the TikTok sensation. I'll just say it. I'm gonna brag on you a little bit, bro. We have the sensation Clifford Taylor on our podcast tonight. It hits different. It hit different when you have Clifford Taylor, a TikTok, sensation. First guest on the pod. Clifford, how you doing tonight, man? How you doing?
I'm good as can be, man. Appreciate y'all for having me.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
definitely,
man.
man. Definitely. Just excited about having you, man. Just once again, just thank you for giving us a little bit of your time. And we're gonna have fun tonight, man. We're gonna talk about a lot. We're gonna talk about just sports, and we're gonna talk about you a little bit. We want to get to know about you and kind of learn about you a little bit. So, let's have fun tonight. We're gonna have conversation. Just sit back and chill, man. It's not a situation where you really have to worry or nothing like that. We're just gonna have fun. But once again, man, just thank you for coming on and spending some time with us. I know you're a busy man, so we appreciate it. First thing first, let's talk about you, Clifford Taylor. Let's talk about you just as a young kid. How was it as a kid growing up in the South Side of Charlotte? And just tell us about your upbringing a little bit.
Yeah, so fortunately for me, was able to have my mom, have my house around. So, I was born in Raleigh, Raleigh, North Carolina. First 6 years of my life, I was raised in Cary, and then we moved to Charlotte when I was like 6. So that was kind of like when like the podcast like just started basically. But yeah, I was like a little nerd, little suburban kid. You know where the Palisades are.
Yeah,
That's
I
where
know where the
we.
Palisades is. Very affluent neighborhood.
Yeah, so we were living in there, and so I pretty much grew up like like a typical nerd, typical square, and all that. So like I was really big into like the gaming. I was really big into sports, obviously, and then like really like in middle school, high school, I was really just trying to find like my group. But the thing is, it's for me. I always pretty much had like a hard time fitting in with everybody. I think just because like I was just always like just creative in a very very different way. Always been that way. And then like just like really in high schools when I really started like to shift a little bit and like really started finding like my connections and my cliques and like stuff like obviously when you play AAU basketball and when you playing basketball at Olympic, you were somebody.
Yeah,
You
for
play
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can play the last 2 seconds of the game, but you still a somebody. So yeah, like growing up, like I said, I was like a little nerd, a little cornball. I was one of them little Mets kids at Olympic. We used to wear the little button downs with the khaki
Yep.
shorts and
Yep.
every kid in Mets did that. So I was one of those, but I got a brand new wardrobe once I got to college. Like my whole style just like shifted. But yeah, like North Carolina, I think I claim Charlotte more than any influencer or rapper creator I know, because baby kind of like on a, he's on a little decline right now, but
Yeah. Yeah.
he'll be fine. But yeah, I always like rep Charlotte to the core when I'm doing videos or when I've been in Florida. I throw these up everywhere I go. So like it kills me it kills me in Florida when they throw it up because they throw it up for Broward County or like 954, which is Fort Lauderdale,
Right.
and I'm like that don't hit the ear the same.
Right.
So
Exactly.
but anytime I throw it up, it's like a 704. So I always rep Charlotte to the core. I mean, got it on the hat. So
Yes, sir. Yeah, man,
Yes, sir.
definitely, bro. That's tough. Like I said, I've just been watching you the last. I think I got familiar kind of with your pod, your not podcast, but with your platform, maybe like a year or two ago. And then I started seeing people that I knew that knew you personally, and I was like, hold on, where he from? And then people's like, he went to school with us, bro. He went to Olympic. I'm like, what? Like, so then I looked up on Twitter and we was following each other. So I was like, what in the world? Like, I've known this guy for a while and I didn't even know who you actually were. So now like you're this big TikTok star, and I'm like, wow, he's from my neighborhood, like he's from around my way, and it's just amazing to see it, bro. So I'm definitely glad that you are first guest on the pod, because for me at least, it kind of means a lot to me to see two young, African American males from the south side of Charlotte, which your end of the tracks is a little bit better than mine, I'll be honest, but it's good to see that two young black brothers just trying to make it, man. And I'm really, like I said, like in the beginning, I'm really proud of kind of what you're doing right now. You're really building a very big platform. You got like 1.1 million followers. And I kind of want to jump into the next thing now is you walked on to an SEC, team. Like that takes a lot of hard work. That takes dedication. How was that like going to the University of Florida and walking on there?
Honestly, like even now, like when I'm doing this stuff now, I still try to figure it out because, like I said, I didn't play football. I didn't play football at all growing up. Basketball was it. There was no football, and honestly, Olympic football was no good anyway when we was there. But yeah, like honestly, it just like hope, faith, and luck is what I've been living by the last couple of years. And so, go to Florida. I get in for school. That was like my dream school. My aunts, uncles, like they all went there. So I wanted to go to Florida my whole life. So I was able to get going for academics and try to walk on for basketball. So long story short, that didn't work out. And so those first 2 years, I was just playing just intramurals, and I was just pretty much, just doing my thing. And so my buddies and I, we decided to just kind of get flag football a shot just for the sake of cardio. That was really the only reason we started playing, really. And then we just like, it just like the stars just aligned, man. I mean, there was this one night I was just playing and I just happened to have a good game. And you could go on campus who was an athlete and whatnot. Right. So a player just happened to be there, who's one of my good friends now, Robert Clay. But he asked me after the game if I ever thought of like playing actual football, and I was like, no, man, not a chance, because like I've never played no football before, so he much gave me the whole spiel of what it was like being on the team. Because he was a walk on himself and how much like muscle he put on. And I was like, damn, man, I'm trying to put muscle, but I couldn't, because like, I was lean, I was lanky, I was like 6'5", 210, soaking wet, So he pretty much gave me a pitch. Like that weekend was when we played LSU, and that was like Coach Mullen's like first signature win. I just kind of did like a little glance around the stage, and I was just like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. Worst thing that happened is I don't make it, but I won't lose sleep if I don't make it. Right. So yeah, from that point, and that was like my sophomore year. So like I want to say from October to February of that following year in 2019, I just started like working out every day, just trying to get in contact with local trainers. I feel like that part gets overlooked at times, like for those who really want to walk on, because like I feel like nowadays it's a lot more publicly announced.
Yeah.
But back then you had to like you had to dig, like you had to like you had to know somebody who knew somebody, have some sort of connections. And honestly, I'm thankful for it, because the way I be hearing it now is like there'd be like 50, 60 people at these tryouts. When I tried out, it was only 4 of us, and only 2 of us made it. Only 2 of us made it. Me and my guy Mike Weir. And so, the stars just aligned, and like people think that I joined the team just to be. Some people do think I just joined the team just to be a TikTok guy. I didn't know what TikTok was until Florida State week, and that's in November. I had no idea what it was. And I was just bored one night, and I just like made a video, and I it was over, and and then the next day my phone is like blowing up, and then I go in the locker room, and everybody's asking me, like, I forget, like Freddie Swain, who was like one of our like team captains, he was like, Cliff, what's that video you just did? And I forgot about it. I was like, all right, post, here you go. Yeah. On my day, he was like, what's this video that I saw of you? And I'm like, what video? And then he just did kind of like the clockwise gesture that did in that first video. And I was like, oh, you saw that? And then it just went around, and then I started just making more videos for fun, and it just kept blowing up. So like, I'm waiting for the joke to be over. I'm still waiting for the joke to be over, but like it just kept going. It just kept going up and up, and it was cool, man, because it's got a group of people on campus that knew me for football, had a group of people that knew me, before football, and then a group of people that knew me from social media. So when you put those 3 together,
It's a
Hey,
lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot. So yeah, it all worked out, man. It all worked out.
Man, that's awesome, man. Cam, did you want to ask something real quick?
Yeah, I was gonna say, so what would you say has been like the biggest change, ever since you became a TikTok sensation?
I've gotten a lot more patient. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Because I'm selfishly speaking, when I first started, like everyone, we don't say it out loud, but we look at the numbers. We
Yeah.
all do. We
Right.
all look at the numbers. So like in the beginning, I was just like posting just to see that number go up. There was really no like purpose in everything, because like I remember like I was getting familiar with a TikTok rep, and I remember like she was telling me all this stuff that I could do in the gym, how time is coming, my time is coming. And I've heard, your time is coming for years. So she kept telling me that, and just certain things were starting to happen behind the scenes that I wasn't really a fan of. So I would say patience and learning how to keep my mouth shut and just work, because
Yeah.
it get too public, it might come back. It might come back to to bite you. So I just kind of learned to be patient, just kind of like stay the course, and just let the stairs, handle the rest. Because I don't know if y'all saw, but did y'all see like last week when this guy, he like hacked NBA's he hacked the NBA's like Facebook or Twitter,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah,
basically
yeah, yeah.
I didn't hear about that. Yeah, no, I didn't know.
yeah, so definitely former employee. He was on a rant talking about somehow basically he was trying to say working for the NBA sucks. But it's like, yo, man, but like what people don't realize, one, working in sports is not for the weak anyway.
Yeah.
And two, I'm like, you might have just potentially committed sports career suicide doing that, because now the word's gonna get around about you. They're gonna be like, oh, this guy, oh, we're not gonna work with him. He did so and so. Who's to say he won't do it over here? So it's like I felt bad, because I did something to that degree. Not that bad, but like
Yeah.
when I was working in LA, I pretty much like it was an ugly ending. Basically, long story short, it was a very, very ugly ending. So I took to a little platform called YouTube, and there's no music in the background. 18 minutes, just bars. So
Just going crazy.
so yeah. So I mean, like honestly, looking at it now, the only thing I regret is like making the people that I liked and the good people there feel that, because not everybody over there was bad. It was just a few people there, and it wasn't even worth it. Especially like doing what I'm doing now. It's like it really wasn't even all that worth it. But I was like 22, like 21,
Yeah.
22.
Young.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
24 now. So those were the two things: patience and just like learning to just kind of keep quiet and stay the course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
Gotcha.
that's awesome. Go ahead, Cam. My bad. I'm sorry.
No, you good. You good.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You good.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
So I had another question. I had another quick question. So now, like, you've got this big following. Do you like, how is it now when you step out? Like, because I'm pretty sure you get noticed. Like, probably almost everywhere. Because I remember at one point, I think it was maybe like last year or like 2021. Dude, you was on my For You page on TikTok every single day. Like, it was no way not to see you. So I wonder how that is too. Like, is it now like every time you step outside the house, like somebody dang near knows you? You have 1.1 million followers on TikTok. Is it kind of happen like that sometime for you?
Yeah, sometimes I wouldn't say all the time.
Yeah.
However, in Gainesville and in Charlotte, more than anywhere.
Yeah.
I've got noticed a few times, here in Orlando, and I think the cool thing about it too is it's like it kind of gives you that like motivation. It's like, okay, like these people appreciate what I'm doing. So because like we all at some point when we're making videos, we like get into like a little like personal funk where it's like, damn, it's like content like he used to, like maybe I'm flopping now, maybe I fell over. But then all it takes is like interacting with a couple supporters. Like I honestly, like I hate the word fans, because
Yeah.
I've heard that too many times from like like little girls at Florida when I was in college, and they'll have a video and you be like, I want to thank all my fans. I'm just like, really? So
Right.
yeah, so they ruin the fans word for me. I just call them like supporters. And but yeah, it's really cool, especially like Gator fans, because I mean, if you look at my stat line, it's deserted. it's deserted, but people like they still appreciate like sharing my experiences, like not only like playing football, but just being a student there. And so it really, anytime I go back and get recognized, it's really cool. It's really heartwarming, and especially when these new kids come in. Like I remember like last week there was like a little like former players event in the swamp, and like these kids kept like former players' kids were asking for pictures with me, and I was like, with me? I'm like, dude, like these guys over here are all Americans. I'm just like, I'm just the creator nowadays. But no, it's a really cool feeling. Like I think it really hit me that this could be big when I first moved to California. And so we all know AJ Green, right? So
yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah.
So it was when he first started going to the high schools and vlogging and streaming these players, trying exposure. So I was like, sure, I'll tag along with you. So I mean, I kid you not, like I think like maybe 10 seconds we walked in, me and him walked together, and there were kids in this student section hitting this. And then like every time I turned, did it, they're like, yeah. And then I walked over there and I was like, let me make sure this isn't like a fluke or not. And then they just started like saying, Clifford. And I was like,
yeah.
Oh, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, all right. And that's when I had I think I had just hit 300,000 at that time. I was like, oh, okay. Like we could do something now. But yeah, man, now, honestly, nowadays, I can't even escape honestly, I blame myself for this sort of affiliation with the Lakers now, because everywhere I go, yo, man, the Lakers need you. Get in the paint. The Lakers need and what people
that's probably your most viral video for real. Like that's the one I think everybody kind of remembers you for. Kind of is the Lakers, at least me. Like that's the main one I remember, the center one.
Yeah, and what people don't get credit for is that there's a guy who's actually from North Carolina. I think he said Wilmington or somewhere in North Carolina, but it wasn't Charlotte, but he was from North Carolina. So I saw him do one that said the Lakers need a center. And he only did like one or two. His name is Kane0024. And so like I remember I did one where I was like, I'm swiping on Tinder, I'm gonna transfer, here's my phone number or something like that. And then I DM'd him, I'm like, bro, I'm like videos crack me up. I get inspo from you. And he was like, man, honestly, bro, like I'm gonna stop doing it. I'm like, why would you stop doing it? I'm like, why would you stop doing it? And he was like, yeah, I just kind of got kind of bored for a minute. It kind of became my personality. And I'm like, all right, I get that. And so I asked him, like man to man, I'm like, yup, if I say on some, you cool with that? And he's like, yeah, bro, go for it. And I was like, all right. And then I made like one or two, and then from there it just took a life of its own, like beyond what he got. And I was just like, yeah. So I always remind people, I'm like, yo, make sure y'all show Kane some love too, because he's because there's always an OG to an OG. And so
right.
Yeah. So basically I was like, yo, man, like Kane's the one, but like he walked so I could run with it, basically. And so
definitely.
Yeah. So basically, I tell him I appreciate him for sure. But it's crazy when people try to say like, like if it wasn't for the Lakers needing a center, he wouldn't have a career. And I'm like, you clearly don't know me. You clearly do not know me. You don't know the content I was posting before. It was man football. And that was honestly really cool to kind of like come back into the basketball community, because like once I was doing football, I was out of basketball, honestly. And it was hard because it's like basketball was my main sport. And so once I started working for the league again, I started resurrecting love for the game. And then once I started doing these videos and seeing the basketball community come together like that, you got football and basketball, put them together, voila, it's magic. So yeah, no, it's been a whirlwind of fantasy, and it's crazy. I still try to figure it out, but it's crazy.
Nah, that's awesome, man. That's really great.
Yeah.
And one last thing, and then I'm gonna start jumping into like sports. We're just gonna start talking sports. But one last thing, like, how has it been now that like, how is it establishing a platform for yourself and kind of becoming like a viral sensation? Like, I know that takes a lot of work. Like, what all goes into creating content, staying creative, being who you are, and also inserting that into your work?
It really comes down to just one or two words, and that's passion or commitment. Because I think for me, like I said before, when I was first doing videos, all I cared about was the numbers. Like the passion, I said it was there, but looking at it now, back it really wasn't. It really wasn't. All I was really caring about was just trying to keep going up, that scale. Yeah. But like I really give appreciation working in sports really, because like just like those experiences with the Rams, those experiences with the NBA, it really kind of gave me like the green light, like, okay, this is what I really want to do. Like now I can say like wholeheartedly when it comes to creating content, putting smiles on people's faces today, like I'm very, very passionate for it. And so that's what I try to tell people that are like starting. I'm like, listen, I'm like, I asked them 3 words. I'm like, are you sure? Because you better be sure. You better be able to take the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because no matter how perfect you think you are, there's people out there that's gonna hate on it. Trust me. I've done talked to AJ Green about it, who in my eyes is one of the coolest guys on the planet, but he deals with it, every day. Guys like Ross 500 destroying and all that. And so, yeah, I would just say like just the passion, because like now I wake up every day and like I have like a solid schedule. I like get up, breakfast, work out, and like from I want to say like noon to 2 or 3, I'm just either sitting here where I am now, just writing or typing ideas, and then I just crack it out. And then, when you got sponsor stuff, you got to put that in there too. But yeah, I would just say like the passion now is a lot more than it was when I first started. And if you have that, the numbers and all that, I don't want to say they become meaningless, because they're not meaningless, but you just garner a brand new appreciation for the game of social media, because like you get a video on House of Highlights and all that, it's cool for the moment. How can I move beyond that moment and keep elevating, keep it pushing forward? So yeah, I would just say passion.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, man. You talked about sponsorship, so that kind of walks me into my next part of what I was about to say, man. We just got our first sponsorship, and it's kind of cool because it's a company based. Well, the pizza place is based out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and it's Stoner's Pizza Joint. It's now open in the Queen City quarter, so that's where the Epic Center used to be. So if you're from Charlotte, you know where that is. Yep. So it's right in that area, and it's for pickup and delivery now. So this interview is actually sponsored by them, and also as well, they're our first sponsor. So we're excited about working with them, man. And like I said, we're kind of new to this whole podcast. I'm thinking that me and Cam just started 2 months ago. So we're kind of new with this, man. But it's been a blessing, man. And once again, that is going to be in the old Epic Center. Stoner's Pizza Joint. It's in downtown Charlotte, 210 East Trade Street, Suite C, 252. So if you are in Charlotte, please go through there and let them know that Cam and T sent you. So we definitely want to say that as well. So you kind of walked me into that perfect, Clifford. So I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and talk a little sports a little bit, man. So I'm actually going to start off with your Gators, because y'all have a huge game on Thursday against Utah, a team that y'all knocked off last year. How do you feel about Florida this year? Just in general, how do you feel about the Florida Gators?
You want my honest answer, or you want my optimistic answer?
I want your honest answer, bro.
Yeah, honestly, like because I look at the team a whole lot different now. But I would you give me 8 wins, I'm good. You give me 9 or 10, I'll throw a parade. You know what I mean? So, yeah, honestly, like I expect us to be fine. I expect us to be, better than we were last year. We kind of ended on a bad note, like 3 straight losses or something like that. But I don't think people are really giving Graham Mertz his just due yet, because any other quarterback that transfers, it's like, oh, he's gonna be the savior. But all I'm hearing is Graham Mertz is gonna be the failure. Graham Mertz is gonna be a flop. Graham Mertz is gonna be, I'm like, yo, man, just give the kid a chance. And another thing, when people games are like just tweaking out because he got number 15. I'm like, listen, man, we all know who Tim Tebow is. Like, don't put that unnecessary pressure on the guy. Like, let Graham be Graham. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited obviously for ETN. I'm sure you're familiar with ETN being a Clemson fan. So T7, I'm excited for him. That running back core I think is really, really underrated. And we got a cold white boy by the name of Ricky Pearsall, who is
nice, bro. He
crazy. It
is
was
so nice,
crazy.
bro. I was telling, matter of fact, AB, and I want to give you some praise too, because the comment section is going crazy over you, man. So appreciate you for that. But AB, he's actually a Gators fan, and we was talking about him a couple weeks ago. I was like, man, that Ricky Pearsall dude is so underrated. I honestly thought he was y'all's best wide receiver last year, personally.
Yo, he was hands down,
Yeah.
hands down, and like I said, like in Gainesville, if they give you that number one, it ain't on accident. So
Right.
yeah, so I'm excited to see what him and Graham do. I'm really excited for these freshmen that I keep about Gene and Eugene Wilson. Like, yeah, I think I've been hearing so much good stuff about them, and I actually saw them. I saw Trey a little bit, or Eugene. I don't know if he goes by Eugene or Trey. I'm not sure. One of them. But I saw him in the scrimmage, and I'm like, dude, he is fast. Like, he is like, you can't teach that speed. So I expect him to get some burn like crazy early. But honestly, man, like I expect the Gators to pull some upset wins. Like I'll be at every home game this year because moving back to Florida, that was the thing. I'm like, I go to some Gator games because being away from it for like 2 or 3 years, man, I miss being in the swamp. So. Yeah, I was in Utah last year, and it was like nostalgia, deja vu. It was insane. So I could see us like pulling it off next Thursday. It's gonna take some grit, some hard work because I know Utah's got a little QB like issue right now. I know Rising is in his 30th year, but he just tore his ACL. And then I heard something that like their backup got hurt in their scrimmage.
Yeah, they possibly might be on their third string quarterback. Peck possibly.
Yeah, so
it's trending well for Florida. I mean, we wish those guys well, of course, but I mean, I know Florida defense is not going to be hurt to be playing a third string quarterback. So yeah, they're just to be honest. But Cam, go ahead if you had any questions. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I didn't know about Rising and his ACL.
Yeah,
I didn't hear about
I didn't know until matter of fact, a Gator fan, D Mill, he told me. He was like, yeah, Ken Rising towards ACL last year. I was like, I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that.
He told me that the backup, in the bowl game, he got hurt. And then he told me the backup got hurt too a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's a possibility that Utah could go out there with their third string, quarterback, which, like I said, that's going to be kind of a problem for them. But we'll kind of see what goes forward. But I think, I kind of agree with you a little bit now that I'm thinking about the Graham Mertz thing, because I do feel like Graham Mertz, you got to think about that offense in Wisconsin was so run-based heavy and so hand the ball off and move. Like, that's kind of how they've always operated until now because they have Phil Longo and stuff like that. But I can kind of understand why you're saying at least give Graham Mertz a chance. He's never really been in an offense that's not just hand off the ball and get out the way. I think that's actually a valid point, Cliff, that you brought up that I really wasn't even thinking about. So, and Graham Mertz coming out of high school, he was like heavily recruited. He was cool.
I remember seeing like videos about him.
He was amazing coming out of high school. So I do think he does deserve a little bit of grace as well. I want to talk to you about kind of about Florida. I want to talk about the Swamp Kings thing because I know you went to the premiere. How did you feel about the whole Swamp Kings thing? Because I watched it, and I'll give my synopsis, but I wanted to see how you felt about the whole premiere in itself.
So, Gator for me, absolutely loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. It was great. However, you know us. Where are we from? Charlotte.
Right.
Where's Chris Leak from?
You get to the point I was going to get to. Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
So, yeah, that's the one thing I wish Gator Nation gave him more props for, because it's like, yeah, Tim Tebow was a big part of that thing, but it's like Chris Lee guided us there. Like, Chris Lee got us there. You know what I'm saying? Like, those last few games when he was like into these TDs, I'm like, yo, he was doing that for the squad. Like, he understood, like, yo, like, I'm gonna have to get out of my comfort zone if we're gonna win this championship. So like, I just wish like Gator Nation and just like media outlets as a whole gave Chris Lee more credit, because like out of high school, he's still regarded as one of the best quarterbacks ever in high school history ever.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I know we had like, what was his name? Ron Zug, and of course Urban Meyer. But yeah, Chris Lee. I mean, if you go back and rewatch that 2006 championship game, Chris Lee was like a point guard. I mean, he was just like boom, 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 boom. Like that was the best game of his career. And so that's why like it kills me like when people like, Tim Tebow led us to 2 national championships. He led us to 1, but he was obviously a big part of 06, but he didn't lead us there. You know what I'm saying? So I just wish they gave Chris Leak his flowers. I wasn't really a big fan how they tried to portray him, but yeah, they and obviously they missed some stuff with like some of the additional trouble that happened. Obviously, with Cam, and they didn't bring up Aaron too much. They didn't bring up all the arrests because I think it was really based around like the stars and Urban and like I knew who Brandon Saller was, but like meeting him at the premiere and seeing him in the documentary, I felt like I've known him all my life now. So yeah, other than that, I really did like the documentary, but yeah, no, it's kind of cool knowing that we have something out there now. So it was dope. It was dope.
Yeah, no, man. That was the thing I was gonna bring up, was the first thing you talked about. I did not like the way that Swamp Kings did Chris Leak. And me being from Charlotte, me and you both being from Charlotte, I remember when he was in high school, and I was talking about this on Twitter the other day ago. He was literally like more famous than some Panther players at the time. Like he was the most famous kid in the city of Charlotte back in like 01, 02. He was literally the most famous guy. I remember people used to call up because he used to go like on the radio and stuff like that and talk to people and stuff like that. People would call up and be fanboying like he was the greatest thing on earth. And I just didn't like the way they was doing Chris Leak, because I felt like in 06, he pretty much led them to that title. And Tebow came in on certain situations when it was rundowns and stuff like that. But I just didn't like the way they did Chris Leak. That was my biggest issue, especially me being from Charlotte and me really growing up slick, like looking up to him, like, to be honest, because he was the biggest thing in our city at that time. So I didn't like the way they did Chris Leak in that Swamp Kings. They made him seem like he was some scrub. And I'm like, bro, he was like a top 10 quarterback coming out of high school. Like, stop it.
I mean, he was no scrub at all. Man.
Like, I just didn't like the way they did Chris, bro. That was my main issue, really, for real.
Yeah. Well, I was hyped when I saw Cam do that video.
Yeah.
Chris Leak was that guy. Like, if Cam knows who you are, you're that guy.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Chris Leak was that dude, man. So yeah, I just didn't like that, man. To be honest, I want to talk to you too, and I'll let kind of Cam take over a little bit here. But I want to talk about the Panthers. You know what I'm saying? Because you're a Panther fan just like me and Cam. So Cam, I wanted you to go ahead and talk to him about the Panthers a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, we can just get right to it, man. How do you feel about your quarterback with the Carolina Panthers, man? How do you feel the offense is going to do? Frank Reich, like, what are your thoughts about how this upcoming season might look for us?
Man, I'm excited for him. Like, on paper, our offense could be like, it could be legit. It really could be legit. Defense. I ain't heard about defense. Defense gonna be fine, but they can't be out. They can't be out on the field for 90% of the game. So it's really. So yeah, like I expect Bryce Young, like, give them first game jitters out. We play Atlanta first, right? We play Atlanta. Yeah, so Atlanta, I expect first game jitters to be gone by the first quarter, and then Bryce Young will go ahead and do his thing. Like, you saw that pearl he threw to Thielen the other day. So I'm like, all right, I've seen enough. It's preseason. I've seen enough. So yeah, no, I'm excited for him. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, yo, we're going to the wild card, divisional, but like I expect us. I would expect maybe 9. I'll give it 9 wins this year. Like, nothing crazy, but from then on, hey, you gotta keep going this way.
Yeah, right. You gotta keep it going.
I tell people all the time, I'm like, people don't understand. If the Panthers just give me 1 Super Bowl, I promise I will be fine the rest of my life. I will be fine. Because that's one thing I've never experienced as a Carolina fan is a championship. Like, the Hurricanes got a Stanley Cup, but I was too young for all that. You know what I'm saying? Right. So just give me one Super Bowl, and I'll be fine the rest of my life. Like, I remember like that magical year in 15, and I remember like our superintendent at the time. I don't remember his or her name, but it was like the Panthers winning this Super Bowl. They was gonna close school on Monday. They was gonna close school on Monday.
I remember.
And freaking Mike Rimmers what and
it give you flashbacks, right? I know, I see you. You getting flustered. I give you flashbacks.
It's crazy. That's the first time I've ever cried over like a professional game. Like, I was crying. I could be mad at Von Miller. I'm like, Von Miller, I know you that dude, but like, leave Mike Rimmers alone. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I still got videos on my phone from like that night. I mean, I mean, it was like when we won that NFC championship, man. Like
Oh,
that was the first time that I've seen Charlotte like that happy, like
yeah.
ever.
I was just about to say that. That was the littlest night I think I've ever had.
Yeah, I to this day have never seen Charlotte that just excited, exhilarant, and it was just so refreshing. Like, and I still like it gives me chills, like literal chills, and chills thinking about it because it was cold. I remember it was like 20-some degrees that night.
It had just snowed like 2 or 3 days before the NFC championship game. I remember.
Yeah, like it was just that was such a magical night. Like I'll never forget. Like when Cam. So you remember when Cam ran that dude over on like 3rd and like 10, and he stiff armed him, and then the very next play he like I started crying when he scored because I'm like, we're going to the Super
Bowl.
Yeah, that was a special night. I'm hoping Bryce Young can bring those sweet memories and finish it off for the Lombardi Trophy one day. But yeah, I'm hyped. I'm excited for him, and speaking of things that bother me, I'm not really a fan of how the NFL tries to like silence Cam. I don't like it. It be the little things, but you know how little things like pile up and they just pile up and they just pile up. Like one, I'm not a fan of how the Panthers did them the first or second time.
Yeah.
And like I mean, if you go, I think like it's on the side where Jerry Richardson's statue used to be.
Yep.
They have like a banner of like the 2015 team. Cam is nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
He's nowhere to be found. And it's like, yo, like he put Charlotte on the bro. Future and Migos came to the Panthers games.
Yeah.
Future and Migos.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like Cam did like he put a spark in Charlotte that I've never even seen. Like him and Kemba Walker, like they both like this Charlotte that was just like transcending. So like that's why like one day, because like, a lot of times people say numbers aren't a big deal. No one should even sniff number one ever.
Me and Cam have talked about this, and we feel the same exact way.
No one should. I'm trying to think. No one should sniff number one.
I agree.
59. You know what? I'll even put 58 in there. I'll put
I say 58 too.
Yeah.
I say 58 too.
About this. Yeah.
I'll put 58 in there. Could 67 if you really want to, Khalil. You could.
Yeah, you could.
89. No
89.
Question.
89. No question. No question.
Not even
89. No question. I thought they should. I think they should do 92. I know they
90,
gave it.
I'm not against putting 90 in there, honestly.
Yeah, those five are like no one should even sniff that. No one should even sniff it. So
I agree.
I just wish that people gave Cam his credit because Cam was the man, yo. Like Cam was the man. So I just wish that he got more just due because like when you look at like NFL, so like they'll post about like transcending black quarterbacks. Like y'all know what I'm talking about. It was like Super Bowl week. It was Super Bowl week, and they was talking about like black quarterback that changed the game. Cam was nowhere to be found. I was like, yo, man.
And that's crazy to me. Cam should be, in my opinion, I hold Cam in such high regard. Like I got him. He's my favorite player of all time. He really got me into football.
Yeah.
Like my first ever season, and I'm gonna date myself a little bit, but my first ever season really watching football was 2010, and that was his year at Auburn. You see what I'm saying? And as Clemson fans, me and T, we know what he did to us that year, right? And so that was my first time seeing Cam, and I was like, okay, this dude is the truth. And then he became, obviously our quarterback, and the rest is history, right? But yeah, I agree with everything you just said. Like all those numbers should 100% be retired, and Cam should absolutely be held in higher regard from the NFL, from the Carolinas, the organization. You know what I'm saying? Like Cam deserves all the flowers, and he's only 30, 32, 33 years old. It's crazy for us to be able to say that about somebody who's still, so young and really probably still be in the league somewhere at least.
Absolutely.
it's just I agree, man. It's crazy. But back to kind of reel it back to the Panthers this season. So you said 9 wins. Do you think those 9 wins are enough to win the division?
When we traded for that number one pick a couple of months ago, I probably would have said absolutely. But as we close the
Yep.
season, and the more I'm hearing about Bijan Robinson and Derek Carr, turning up in camp, all that. I was just camping preseason, but it's like I don't think people give the NFC South enough credit. It might be a pretty tight race. The Bucks,
Right.
They will
Right.
catch them. Yeah,
Right.
they're done. But yeah, the Falcons and the Saints, like you never sleep on them. You never sleep on. But
Yeah.
I see 9 wins. It's like that's cool enough, but like after that, then that's when it really gets in the dick. Like I said, you got like Eagles, you got the Vikings, you got like the Giants on the come up. Obviously, you got the Cowboys who, like y'all, I can't stand Cowboy fans, but it's like I call it how I see it. Their defense is a Super Bowl defense.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
like when they played the Niners in the NFC Championship, I'm like, yo, they basically exposed their own offense. They exposed their own offense because their defense played lights out that whole game, and it's just like, it's unfortunate how it ended, but I always get a kick out of seeing Stephen A. Smith get a good laugh about it. The next day, him and Michael, that's one thing I'm gonna miss. Michael was on the next day, and they just mouthing at each other. But Shannon Sharp will be funny too. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a movie.
We excited for that one, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be a movie. I have a question too about the Panthers. So I'm kind of in the same boat as you. 9 wins, I think is kind of where I expect the Panthers to be. 9 or 8 wins. But for me, and I said this earlier, and I think this guy, he's also pretty big on TikTok too. His name is Matt. He was saying that for him, the Panthers really just need to see Bryce Young look good, and he's kind of okay with that. And I kind of somewhat agree. I think if Bryce looks like legit and we go 8 and 9 and don't make the playoffs, I'm not going to be mad. Honestly, me personally, I won't be mad. But I guess for me, if we go, let's just say we go 5 and 12, but Bryce looks great. Then what happens? I'm with you. After this year, the Panthers should be trending towards playoffs every single season from here going forward. So I'm with you. So I guess my question is, what do you think is the expectation after this year?
Go 10 wins, 10 wins. You know how we get. So it's got to go up this way. And that's the same way it was with Cam. It's like his first year, we was like what, 5 and 11 or something like that.
We were 6 and 10.
6 and 10.
6 and 10.
Like he was so entertaining. It was like y'all can have that, and then like obviously 2012 like got more wins, and then 2013. Oh man, that Monday Night Football game in 2013, it's like just kept going up. It just kept going up. So I expect the same thing out of Bryce, and I don't think people give him enough credit for his legs. Like he's quite the hip artist. Like I've seen a couple games where I'm like, how in the world did he not get sacked? Like.
Right.
I remember. I vividly remember one. It was like against Texas, right? And it was like I think it was like 3rd or 4th down, 4th and like long. And so it's like if they don't get it, they're done. He probably escaped. I want to say 3 or 4 tackles and let him down the field, get a game winning field. I'm like, yo, can't. Like some stuff you just can't teach. And so I'm like, I hope he does that. I hope he brings that same energy, to the Panthers, And I think I said, like, I don't expect nothing crazy this year, but next year, 9 to 10, and the next year, 11 to 12.
Right.
We get a couple more time games, you know what I mean? So
No, I agree with you, man. Yeah, go ahead, Cam. Go ahead.
No, my bad. I was just gonna say, got to keep growing year over year. That's really the main thing we want to see. And like improvement, like you said, in year 1, you just want to see something that gives you hope for the future. But in year 2, that's when the future starts. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like that's when we expect the wins to start rolling in. And obviously this is all contingent on if the powers that be, the guys in charge, surround him with the ample amount of talent that it takes to win. And they don't do what they did with Cam Newton. You know what I'm saying? They put Cam out there and expected him to do everything for him. And it worked for a little bit, but after a while, especially as he starts to get older, you got to give him help, right?
Right.
And so I agree with everything you just said, man. It's about progress, and eventually we'll get to the top of the mountain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I definitely agree with that, man. Um, I want to talk about too, like, because I've been kind of hard on the Panthers wide receiver core. Like that's been my whole narrative this past couple of months. Like, I am a little concerned because I think Bryce, and I was saying this even on Friday, he looks the part. Like, I don't know if you've seen that play where
Yeah.
he juked this guy and then made another move and got and
Yeah.
like pretty much got untouched. And I'm like, how
Yeah.
did this kid do this? Like, he looks the most experienced on the offense for the Panthers, right? In my opinion, he looks
Yeah.
like he's been playing in the league for 10 years. And even that scramble that he did up the middle, and I give you credit on that too, because I didn't really think he could move like that until the other day. I was like, oh my God, Bryce Young is actually kind of fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I guess for me, my main thing is like I'm a little bit concerned about the wide receiving core. Like I like Adam Thielen, but he's kind of like a slot possession type of receiver. I like Jonathan Mingo, but he's young. He's a rookie. You can't expect much. I even like DJ Chark, but as y'all already know, he's already dealing with the injury as we speak. I like Terrence Marshall Jr. as well, but kind of the same thing. He's dealing with the injury. So I'm just a little concerned about the wide receiver core. So I guess my question for you, Cliff, and for Cam, really, who is somebody y'all think that the Panthers should go out and go get in free agency or in a trade or draft, whatever the case may be, within the next year or so, whatever the case may be?
Get Christian McCaffrey back. Oh man. He gonna be gone. He gonna be gone by this time next year. But if we can get our hands on Marvin Harrison Jr.-esque kind of guy,
Man.
Yeah, I wish we could.
Man.
he'll be long gone when it's time for us to pick.
Yeah,
But,
I wish we could.
it'd be beautiful to get our hands on a Hall of Famer junior. So
Yeah.
Man. But yeah, like I think what happens is nowadays it's like the leadership and chemistry like around you, it just builds. Like,
Yeah.
We got, like you said, like England's more of a slide. You got Terrence Marshall Jr., you got all these Shark, and my thing is it's like it all comes down on the quarterback. And unfortunately, he's a rookie, so but he'll be there as time goes on. And it's one of those things where I think sometimes like groups have to kind of come together and be like, okay, QB, you're the leader. Tell us what we got to do to get the job done. We're gonna make it happen. Kind of like what happened in 15 with Cam. Benji towards ACL, and Philly, Teddy, and all them. Jericho, they all had to step it up. So I think that's what's gonna happen. And a lot of people don't really expect a lot of this. So I'm sure they see the news. I'm sure they see the coverage. So you gotta have that chip on your shoulder all season. You just gotta turn it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, we got a good mixture of veterans and new guys. So I'm just kind of eager to see how that all plays together.
Yeah, I feel the same way. If they can just kind of stay healthy or get healthy, I think they can be a solid core. I don't think they're the worst core in the league. I'm not gonna say all of that. You know what I mean? But I will say that obviously you could do better. But at the same time, it's Bryce Young's first year. He's a rookie. We had a wide receiver one, but we had to let him go to get Bryce Young, right? So those are it's kind of a give and take sometimes. Like not every team in the league is lucky enough to have, a top 5 quarterback and a top 5 wide receiver, kind of like the Bengals have, right? Like they're lucky like that. The Bills are lucky like that. But then you also got a team like the Kansas City Chiefs who really don't have a top 32 wide receiver.
Yeah,
you know
they
what I
don't.
mean? So, I mean, they just won the Super Bowl. So I think ultimately the Panthers just have to find a balance. And I think they're trying to find that balance in the form of Jonathan Mingo, who's a rookie, Terrence Marshall Jr. potentially, an older Adam Thielen, obviously, and then DJ Shark. And then don't forget about Laviska Shenault. I know he's not really a route running wide receiver, but I do like his big play potential, to be honest with you. So I like the team. They just have to call the right plays. And hopefully, in my opinion, and that's a question I do want to ask too, to kind of segue real quick. Who do you want to call plays for the Panthers this season? Because Frank Wright and Thomas Brown are kind of splitting it right now. So who do you think? Who are you liking there, or do you like both?
Preferably, I prefer Frank because he's he played the top position. He was a quarterback.
Yeah.
So like
He
should know the ins and outs more than anybody because he actually he's been there, he's done that. So I would have to say Frank, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. I think especially starting out the season because Thomas Brown, he's pretty much a rookie offensive coordinator, right?
That too,
And
yeah.
I think it'd be wise for Frank to kind of, not only to help Thomas Brown's development, but really for his rookie quarterback. You don't want to kind of, you don't want a rookie OC and a rookie quarterback. Like I don't know how often that works out. You know what I mean?
Right. It's
But when you got a
very
veteran
rare.
play caller, right? But when you got a veteran play caller and Frank Reich, I think that's a really good thing for Bryce Young's development. But I also like what I've seen from Thomas Brown in the preseason with his play calling and everything. So really I think we'll be fine either way. But I don't think they should do the whole one half calls or one half calls the other. Or excuse me, one person calls one half and the other person calls the other half. I think they got to stick with one, or at least do like some kind of situational aspect to it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I do like Thomas Brown because I think he brings like a younger element to the Carolina Panthers, which I do kind of like. But I kind of agree with you and Cliff. I think that especially starting out, I kind of think Wright probably does need to be calling plays out front, at least until things get kind of settled in. Especially like y'all said, he was a quarterback for the Carolina Panthers, so he knows exactly how this feels. You know what I'm saying? So I think with the development of Bryce Young, I think it's going to be important for him to just kind of at least get kind of Bryce Young on some training wheels. And then once that kind of breaks loose, when you feel like, okay, he's got it, then maybe then Thomas Brown takes over as calling the plays and stuff. So I think both of y'all bring up amazing points. I kind of want to transition back to college football a little bit. I know this is kind of backwards, but I want to talk a little bit about some of the games coming up this weekend because there's a lot of like big games. And you don't have to give a long synopsis on any of them, but I kind of want to talk about your rival a little bit. No, you're not going to like this. I don't like them either. But LSU and Florida State on Sunday night is going to be a movie. Actually, I think it's in Orlando, if I'm not mistaken.
In Orlando, yep. My best friend from home, God bless his soul, my boy Jared, just like me, his dad was a Seminole. He went to Florida State. So the last few years have been marvelous. FSU was terrible.
Damn.
So it was a magical time. So I can know how I never lost to FSU. I don't know what it's like to lose to FSU. So I mean, you got to call it how you see it. In FSU, they got a squad. FSU, they got a squad, man. Like, I mean, I went to the FSU game last year, and bro, every time they was on offense, my eyes were glued on two people, 13 and 14, Johnny Wilson.
Yeah.
like 6'7", can run like a dude that's like 5'11". I'm like, you can't teach that, man. Like, it's just So like I said, that game will be something. I'm honestly still contemplating if I'm gonna go to that game because what I'm saying, it's in Orlando. It's at the crib. You know what I'm saying? Like why? Like why not? I'm not wearing no Gold to Garner. I might just wear this. I might just I might just wear something like this. But that's gonna be a really top 10 matchup. That would be a good game. I think FSU's gonna win like it's gonna be like a 24-17 game because you know what I'm saying. SEC, we play defense in SEC. So, but yeah, now they got that one guy. His name I forget his name from FSU, number 5.
Jared Verse.
Verse, yes, yeah. So I didn't even know he came back until like a couple weeks ago.
Man.
He's a dog, man.
Because they were saying he might have been a first round pick this year.
He's probably like a top 10 or 15 pick this year. I was surprised he came back, but I think that just goes to say kind of with the NIL stuff, like you wouldn't have seen that type of stuff back in the day, but now with the NIL stuff, like it's a little bit more common. Like I even seen something about Caleb Williams is talking about like if it's a team that he really don't want to go to, he probably just gonna stick it in LA in another year. And I don't blame him, to be honest with you.
Can I be honest?
Yeah,
I just saw something about him the other day. I hope he goes to the league because he's talking about something. I don't know if I'm gonna be in the NCAA
in the
game,
NCAA game. Yeah,
like,
I
dude,
seen that.
like, dude, just go to the league, bro. Go to the league, bro. Just no. I just want my game back, bro. Like, you gotta understand, like not on, like, let's keep knocking on the wood, bro. When that game drops next July, man, my supporters might not see a video out of me for like a good 2 weeks.
I'm not gonna hold you, bro. I already done told myself, look, bro, when that game come out, I'm taking off at least 2 days of work. At least I need to just lock in, play this game, and I'm gonna be locked in, bro. I'm not gonna hold you.
Locked down. So
NCAA, man. Golly,
me and Cam was just talking about that earlier.
We were just talking about it, man.
We were literally just talking about that like maybe like 2 hours ago. We were saying when it comes out, if they have like an early, like kind of how they have in Madden where the game comes out 3 days earlier, I'm just gonna pay the extra 30,
I'm paying that, man.
And get the early edition.
That's what I'm saying, man.
So for me,
and I really hope that this game too is so much more like the old NCAA games. Because because me and T he played Madden, and I just can't get into it no more because I don't like the new stuff, man. Like, I used to love Madden and NCAA. Like, I'm an old head when it comes to like them type of sports games. I like the robotic animations. You know what I'm saying? I like the simplistic gameplay. All these audibles and hot routes and stuff like that, man. The hit, I miss the hit stick noises, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Bro. You remember when the helmet used to pop off back in the day?
I remember.
That's what I'm saying. I miss the stuff like that. I'm tired of running through my offensive line and tripping over. Like, I just can't get behind it, man.
That is the worst. That's the worst.
I just can't get behind it. So I hope that they put this new NCAA game on. I know they're not gonna put it on the old engine, but I hope that the new engine that they create for the game is just something better than Madden. Because
it gotta be. It gotta be better than Madden.
It's gotta be better than Madden.
Yeah, I want to segue back into the college football too a little bit. I want to talk about the game that actually me and Cam are gonna kind of be in the vicinity for. The North Carolina Charlotte game back, South Carolina game back in Charlotte. And Cam and Cliff both. I kind of want to get y'all input on that game, and I'll kind of give mine first. I think this game is going to be extremely close. I like South Carolina. I know I'm a Clemson fan. I know, but I think they actually have a decent team this year. Like, I think they're actually really talented. I do kind of want to see what's going to be Juice Wells' injury situation. But like, how y'all feel about that game? Because I think those are two really evenly matched teams, and I think that's another like big game to kind of look for that weekend.
A couple weeks ago, I would have said I like North Carolina for the upset, but then my dog Tez got his elbow. He didn't get approved for eligibility, so I was like, well, there goes my pick. So as a couple weeks ago, I would have said, like Drake May and Tez Walker, they gonna do the thing, but can't forget about Spencer Rattler. I've seen him torch my Gators firsthand. So
our Clemson team last year.
I've seen it too.
I've seen it too. It was not fun.
Yes, I mean, I think.
Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, from what I've heard, I just hear like a lot of the players are kind of just like buy in, and you can just tell by like their language when they're playing, and just like, okay, they like their coach, they can like work with them. I would now. I think without Tez, I think South Carolina's gonna escape with it's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be a lot of close games this weekend, I think.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Cam, go ahead.
Especially week 1. No, I was just gonna say I think it's gonna be a shootout. To be honest with you, I think it's gonna be. It's gonna be a shootout. It's gonna be close. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, because I think we talked about this last week. Me and T. We think South Carolina should have came into the season ranked. Yeah, and I think this should have been.
I did too.
Yeah, this should have been a matchup of ranked teams. And I hate that they not. To be honest with you, but. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think South Carolina has a really good chance to knock off North Carolina.
I do too, especially without Tez Walker, bro. If that Tez Walker thing don't get solved out between now and Saturday, which it does not look like it is, Yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely like South Carolina Panthers.
they won't.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
So I
I
like
hate
South
that,
Carolina
man.
Panthers, honestly.
So you said Juice Wells out, man? He hurt?
Juice Wells is injured now. He's practicing. Apparently, he practiced this week, but it was like kind of like on the side, so that he's not
Yeah.
like full go yet. So I don't know. Maybe this week
Bro.
can change. But if he's hurt too, or if he gets hurt, like as soon as he gets in the game, that's gonna change a lot for South Carolina
Yeah,
too.
it
Because
is.
they really don't got no wide receivers besides him either.
Yeah.
So that's gonna change a lot. So we'll see. And then last but not least, and then we'll talk about a little bit of Hornets, and then we'll let you go. We got to talk about our boys a little bit. Clemson versus Duke on Monday night. Cam and Cliff, I want you to be honest. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I like Duke this year. This team just won 9 games last year. I think a lot of people think this is their like little brother, older brothers Duke. No, this Duke team is actually really good. I think Mike Elko did a really good job like building them up. I like Clemson in this game. Maybe on the I don't think Clemson blows them out though. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I don't. I think it's on the likes of maybe like I don't know 24-10, something like that. I don't know if they blow them out though, but I am excited to see Garrett Riley's offense though. I'm not gonna lie.
Is the game is it at Duke or is it at Clemson?
It's at Duke. It's in Durham.
At Duke. Yeah.
All right, let's see. All right, let's go, Kay. Because I totally forgot about Duke until you said that.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that until you said it. But I'm gonna go with Clemson. Going to get them, as Dabo used to say, is the dadgummest thing. So I'm gonna go with
Yeah.
When he said oh my God, what did he say
bring
about
your own guts and glory? What was it to bring your guts?
Yeah, it was something he said about NIL. He's like, we're playing in the name, image, likeness of Christ.
Oh yeah. When he did that, what did he say? Name and image.
God, he said we did it in God's name, image, and likeness.
And you know what's funny? Dabo knew he was gonna get that reaction too, because he made a smirk right before he said it. He knew that was gonna set people off. He was like, "Yeah, let me go." He thought he was cool. It was like one of those old dad jokes. It was funny to me, but yeah, go ahead though.
Nah, he funny, man. He cracked me up. I ain't gonna lie. Just the stuff that he be saying. This is the stuff that he be saying. It be making people mad too. That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
But I like obviously I like Clemson in this game. One thing I do want to point out though, man, I think Duke's quarterback, so Riley Leonard,
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I think number one, I know for a fact we're talking about a future NFL quarterback.
For sure. Yeah.
And I think I'm confident in saying that he's probably a top 10 quarterback in the country right now.
I don't think that's crazy to say. It's a lot of good quarterbacks out here, though. It's a lot.
It's a lot of good quarterbacks.
Pac-12 loaded. The Pac-12 got a bunch.
They loaded.
Yeah. I don't think that's that crazy to say, to be real. Riley Leonard's really good, bro. Like, he don't get enough credit as he's supposed to get.
He don't.
But I like him a lot.
Really good. Legs in the air. I mean, he can do it all. Like, I feel like the way people talk about Daniel Jones coming out of Duke, you know what I'm saying? Riley Leonard should be getting that plus some. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because he's actually good at Duke. See, that was the difference for me when I seen, and I'm not trying to, because I actually do like Daniel Jones a little bit better than most people do, I would say right now. But but I think Leonard, like, he's actually shown me something at Duke that makes me say, okay, this guy's an NFL quarterback. You see what I'm saying? Like when I seen Daniel Jones play Clemson, I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? But Riley Leonard, I mean, he hasn't played us, but but I see it with him, you know what I mean? So I think I think Clemson, I ain't gonna say it's a blowout, you know, but I like us by a couple of scores though. I do say probably at least 2, at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think but I also thought Duke should have been a ranked team coming into the year.
They should have at least been like
25.
Top
something like that.
At least. I agree. Yeah. They just won 9 games last year. And they were really good. So
and it's no small feat to win 9 games. I know their schedule might not have been as loaded as a lot of other teams, but they still won 9 games. You know what I mean? So and it's a couple of teams that's ranked that didn't get 9 wins last year. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't that good. So, but I'm gonna leave it at that though on Clemson and Duke though.
Yep. So last thing here, we kind of want to jump into the last thing, and then we're gonna let you go here. I want to talk about the Charlotte Hornets a little bit because you're a Hornets fan too. And we was kind of talking about this before we got on too. We was talking about how our age group, we kind of grew up with more so like the Bobcats. Like I barely remember the Hornets when before they left to go to New Orleans. So we know you're a Charlotte guy, you're a Hornets fan. What's kind of your expectations for the Hornets this year? They bring back Miles Bridges. They bring back PJ Washington. I think he just got paid like yesterday. Congrats to him. They have LaMelo already locked into a big time deal. I guess my question for you is, what's the expectations for the Charlotte Hornets this year?
Well, when Melo signed that extension, it was a big exhale because I was like, man, because I know he ain't accustomed to losing. Being in a small market like Charlotte, it's like, I'm gonna go to the Lakers. I thought he was going to the Lakers like that. So when he put that pen to paper, I was like, oh, all right, we got our superstar. We say the Campbell back in the day, but I ain't complaining.
Right.
but yeah, I mean, obviously we all know what happened with Miles Bridges. He's got to pretty much prove himself or on and off the court now. So, but from a Hornets fan standpoint, like bringing him back obviously is going to be tremendously huge. And I think we want PJ to the right amount because like if he had gotten like maybe like 20 mil a year, that would have been like pushing it, I think. But I think he got what was like 48, 3 years, 48.
Yeah, like 3 years, 40. That's right around kind of what I expected him to get, like 16 million rough a year. Yeah.
So that's totally fine. So my thing is though, if we can just and I hope Steve Clifford implements this within our team. If he can just implement this little thing called defense.
Yeah, right.
If he can just implement defense and because like on offense, hey,
they flying. Yeah.
Do your thing. But man, like on defense, it's like I remember I watched him play the Nets in Brooklyn when I was up there earlier this year, and I was like, bro, these Hornets don't play no defense.
Yeah,
like they got no one. Like they need a center. Like forget the Lakers.
Right.
They need a center, but it's like, yeah, man. Like if they can just lock in on the defensive end of the floor, man, that would change everything. Like we could easily be a like 30 to 40, I ain't gonna say 50 yet. We ain't there yet. But like 30, like a 40 like win team. And like we gotta get that. We gotta get past the plan. I'm tired of getting blown out. I'm tired of getting blown out. So like we could easily be that, but like we just gotta step up on the defensive end. Take a note from Eric Spoelstra's philosophy line. I saw something the other day, and they were talking about like the Heatles. And when like Chris, LeBron, and D Wade first got there, their first training camp, they didn't do anything on offense. They did straight defense. And so obviously it didn't work that first year, but those years when they went back like going against the Spurs is like, I mean,
that's tough.
Yeah. You want to talk about fundamental basketball. So I'm trying to think who's in our division. Orlando, Atlanta. No, we ain't Miami. Nah, they still Heat. Yeah, we got the Wizards. Yeah, they ain't nothing.
Yeah, ain't nothing.
But I would like to see a divisional championship, in New York.
The thing is, though, I think it can happen with LaMelo because I really do think he's going to be a superstar in this league, man. I really do.
And Brandon Miller.
And Brandon Miller, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I forgot about Brandon Miller completely. I didn't even bring his name up. But Brandon Miller, I thought he got a lot of unfair treatment too. Like when he got drafted, a lot of people was booing. But I'm like, bro, this dude is really good. Like I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I was a Scoop fan too because I see your face.
Yeah, I
want him. But you know what I'm saying? I kind of feel like, people act like Brandon Miller is some scrub, and I'm like, dude, he's really good.
He's good. He can score. I mean, he'll get you. My thing is with him, see, Scoop. The Hornets were in a position last year where you kind of just need better players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I have a hard time believing in fit when you didn't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know what I'm saying? Like to me, I think you have to build a good team first before you start thinking about how can I bring in somebody that can fit this team that I already have. Because in my opinion, Scoot and even Brandon Miller, I think in the next couple of years, they'll at least be your second best player on your team. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
you know what I mean? Like, shoot, Scoot could have been it maybe this year. I think
I
Brandon
was
Miller,
saying,
if he, if they give him a chance, he probably can be it this year, right?
Right.
Um,
yeah,
but like you said, the Hornets, they do have a lot of things they're working with. You got LaMelo, you got Brandon Miller, you got Miles Bridges, you got PJ Washington, and Mark Williams is also another good dude.
Yeah.
I think he's a really good five.
on
Um,
paper, we got a squad, low key. I'm hearing these
that's what
names.
I'm
Yeah, on
saying. Like
paper, yeah.
when I, when
That's
when I say it out loud, because I always think in my head, I'm like, y'all ain't really got really a good team. But when you actually say it out loud, and when you say these names, it's like, dang, these guys are actually pretty good. They just need to be on the floor together, and they
yeah.
need that coaching mindset, or that coaching just to make them gel together. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
and Gordon Hayward too. Like yeah, like they got
Yeah. On
yeah,
paper,
yeah,
man, like I said, on paper, the Hornets got. We was talking about this a few weeks ago in a group chat. We was saying like on paper, man, the Hornets should at least minimum be in the play in every single
yeah,
year.
yeah. At least,
Like at
yeah.
minimum, like because they really are on paper, like we said, they're really good, man.
Right.
Like,
Because no longer are they the Bobcats first and foremost. They don't have a
yeah,
trash roster,
I,
right? Like
yeah,
they
right,
don't you know what I mean? Like it's not that bad. And when you look at the other teams that are in the East right now, a lot of those teams are dealing with health injuries. You got the Bulls, you got the Pistons, you got the Magic. All those teams are really struggling when it comes to health.
yeah,
And then you got teams like the Hornets, the Hawks, you know what I'm saying? Those kind of mid-tier teams that are really fighting for a playing spot every single year. But
yeah,
if they just
right.
get it all together and put it on paper, they could easily be a top 6 seed in the East. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
Yeah.
So so I think y'all just, if y'all can just get on the floor, all your guys on the floor. Last year was rough because none of them were healthy, and none
yeah,
of
Right.
and Bridges wasn't just there. But if you can just get those guys on the floor, man, I think the Hornets can actually be something this year.
yeah,
We'll definitely see it. And I got to go to a couple games. So I'm gonna try to go to a couple games because it's like
Yeah,
like being like far from home, like you just miss it. So like,
yeah,
I might fly up for a game or two. So we're still
yeah,
PSL owners with the Panthers. So I'll probably go to a couple games.
yeah, yeah,
word.
man. Once again, man, Cliff, thank you for coming on, bro. We really appreciate your time, man. Just great episode, man, for one. And just we appreciate you for coming on and really giving us a shot. Just to
Yeah,
talk
man.
here, man. We would love to have you again one day too, as well, man. You were really great. So we really do appreciate everything that you do, and we appreciate giving us some of your time tonight, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
No, I
no problem
appreciate
at
it,
all,
man.
man.
For real. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so I just want to say once again, thank you, man, and we appreciate you, and I think we're gonna go ahead and close it out here, man. Cam, is there anything else that you want to say before we end it out, man?
Nah. Well, first of all, thank you. Just for being here with us, man. It means a lot. You know what I'm saying? We all young black men, man. We just trying to make it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
The odds are always stacked against us. But
Yeah.
as long as we work together and really just keep supporting and doing our thing, man, we gonna make it.
yeah,
But ultimately, man, to everybody that be watching and that be supporting, man, you know what I'm saying? Thank y'all.
yeah,
Everything that y'all say to us, like on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, like all the love and support. Y'all don't like what y'all just say to me. Y'all don't know how much that makes me feel like that we're actually doing something good. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It makes me feel good to keep going. You know what I mean? So just thank y'all for the love and support, man, as always.
Yeah, definitely. I was just about to say same thing, bro. Like, just appreciate y'all's love and support. Once again, thank you, Cliff, for coming on with us, man. Just appreciate the love and support. Like, without y'all and showing y'all, like I said in the chat right now, it's going crazy. Like, they really
Yeah.
fooling with us, and that just makes us want to keep working, keep doing what we're doing, man. And we really do appreciate what y'all have done for us and how y'all show us love and support, man. And we really do greatly appreciate it, man. So once again, I just want to say thank you all for everything that y'all do. I do want to say one more thing. Next week we'll be in Charlotte asking people questions about the game. We'll be at College Game Day, so we'll be there asking people. If you see us out there, man, come holler at us, man. We'll be there and we'll ask you some questions. Put you on TikTok. We ain't as big as Cliff, but we got like 23,000 followers on TikTok, man. So if you want to pull up on us, we're gonna be out there asking questions, man. And the week after that, we'll be down here in Atlanta for the Panthers Falcons game. So we'll be asking questions there too as well. So once again, man, just thank y'all for the love and support, man. We appreciate y'all. And on that note, man, we're gonna go ahead and call it evening. Wish y'all nothing but the best, man.